Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
On the program today, we'll bring you a special documentary which is a fallout from the ongoing royal, cultural, and traditional crisis in Warri Kingdom since the coronation of Ogiame Atuwase III on the 21st of August 2021.
The Warri Kingdom of the Ishekiris in Delta State, Nigeria was founded in 1480. Its history, culture and tradition, which have lasted over 540 years, can be traced back to the Great Benin Empire, which was founded by the Edo people of southern Nigeria sometime around 1180. It was indeed an extremely important and powerful kingdom in West Africa. Benin Kingdom flourished between the 13th and 19th century due to its successful trade with the Portuguese and other kingdoms in materials such as brass, wood, ivory, and slave trade in West Africa. All these provided sufficient wealth for the kingdom, which in turn helped it develop a powerful army that led many successful campaigns for conquest of other kingdoms and expansion of Benin Kingdom. The Benin Kingdom reached its highest power and glory during the reign of Oba Warri, who reigned from 1440 to 1480. It was at the end of Oba Warri's reign and following the fear of possible succession crisis that one of the princes left Benin Kingdom with sons of 70 chiefs to establish what is today known as the Warri Kingdom. When Prince Ginowa arrived in what is known today as Warri Kingdom, there were 5 aboriginal communities: Iribu, Inori, Ureju, Omadino, and Ugborudo. These communities coalesced to become one kingdom. They then adopted monarchy and declared Prince Ginowa from Benin Kingdom as Ogiame Ginowa I, their first king. Thus, the Ishekiri nation and Warri Kingdom was born. This history explains certain cultural and traditional similarities within both kingdoms. Their monarchs, the Oba of Benin and the Olu of Warri, exercise supreme authority over the culture and traditional affairs of their people. They are both assisted by nobles who are members of a traditional council of chiefs. They each hold different chieftaincy titles that define their functions in the kingdoms. Some of the chieftaincy titles which can be found in both kingdoms include the Iyase in Benin, known as Iyashere in Warri, and Ologbotsere, which is pronounced the same way in both kingdoms. However, while the Iyase is the traditional prime minister in Benin Kingdom, the Ologbotsere is the prime minister and most senior chief in Warri Kingdom. The Ologbotsere title was first introduced in Benin Kingdom in 1713 by Oba Akenzwa I. In Benin Kingdom, Ologbotsere means Ologbo, Iyase, a housekeeper for the Iyase, as well as one of the military commanders under the command of Iyase of Benin, who used to be the commander of military forces in Benin Kingdom. However, 47 years after the title was created by Oba Akenzwa in Benin City, and 280 years after Warri Kingdom was established, and following a disagreement with the Iyashere of Warri Kingdom at that time, Ogiame Erejua I established the Ologbotsere title and installed the first Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom in 1760, who then became the most senior chief and traditional prime minister of Warri Kingdom. By 1951, Erejua II installed Omayone Mayuku as the second Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom. After the demise of Ologbotsere Mayuku, Ogiame Erejua II projected Chief O.N. Rewani from Uwangwe title holder to become the third Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom. Upon his demise in 1987, after crowning Ogiame Atuwashe II on the 2nd of May 1987, no Ologbotsere was appointed during the 28-year rule of Ogiame Atuwashe II. However, upon his ascension to the throne, the 20th Olu of Warri Kingdom, Ogiame Ikenwonli I, decided to appoint Chief Ayiri Emami as the fourth Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom. In April 2023, Ogiame Atuwashe III appointed Chief Oma Eyewoma as the fifth Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom. The Ologbotsere family, however, rejected Chief Eyewoma's appointment and are currently in court challenging the decision of Ogiame Atuwashe III. Apart from being the traditional Prime Minister, the Ologbotsere is also chairman of the Olu's Advisory Council and is charged with the onerous responsibility of midwifing the selection and eventual coronation of an Olu of Warri whenever the need arises. This was the situation in which Chief Ayiri Emami, the Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom, found himself in December 2020 when the 20th Olu of Warri, Ogiame Ikenwonli I, surprisingly joined his ancestors. According to the declaration made under Section 8 of the Traditional Rulers and Chiefs Edict 1979 stating the customary law regulating succession to the title of Olu of Warri, the Ologbotsere presides over all activities and formally installs the Olu in the presence of the general public. However, Chief Ayiri's insistence on adherence to Section 4 of the edict, which states, to qualify, a candidate's mother must be an Ishekiri or of Edo origin, meant that Prince Shola Emiko, as he then was, could not qualify as he had 5 years earlier been disqualified as a candidate for the throne by this provision, since his mother is Yoruba from Ogun State. Therefore, the only way to the exalted throne of Warri Kingdom for Prince Shola Emiko was to bypass Chief Ayiri and brazenly ignore the 1979 edict. And so, as has now been revealed, princes of Warri Kingdom under the aegis of Giniwa I ruling house gathered together and surreptitiously suspended Chief Ayiri Emami as Ologbotsere of Warri.
Chief Ayiri Emami, having exhibited actions and tendencies unbecoming of the position he occupies, and having proven himself unworthy of the Ologbotsere stool, is hereby suspended from the Warri Council.
The suspension, according to Prince Yemi Emiko, wrong as it was to make way for the Iyashere of Warri, Prince Johnson Amasherule, to assume chairmanship of the Warri Council of Chiefs and specifically proceed with the selection of Prince Shola Emiko as well as his coronation as Ogiame Atuwashe III.
I took the lead in the activities that suspended Ayiri Emami from being a Ologbotsere and appointed Iyashere as acting chairman of the Warri Council of Chiefs. That singular action paved the way for the current Olu to mount the throne.
Curiously, the spokesman for the Giniwa I ruling house who read out Ayiri's suspension, Prince Toju Emiko, is the author of a book titled The Emergence of His Majesty Ogiame Ikenwonli as the 20th Olu of Warri. In chapter 3 of Prince Toju's book, he chronicled the impossibility of Prince Shola Emiko's ascendance to the throne of Warri Kingdom and why he was disqualified from consideration as a possible Olu of Warri. According to Prince Toju, Prince Shola Emiko now Ogiame Atuwashe III, failed to satisfy the requirements of Section 4 of the Statutory Declaration of the Traditional Rulers and Chiefs Edict 1979. In other words, Prince Toju Emiko, in supporting the suspension of Chief Ayiri to get him out of the way and enable the selection of Prince Shola Emiko as Olu designate, knew that he was indeed embarking on an illegal journey for which himself, a legal practitioner, had lost all integrity. Several well-meaning people like Chief Isaac Jemide, one of the 5 kingmakers and Oshodi of Warri at that time, protested disregard for extant laws, but all protests fell on deaf ears.
As far as we are concerned, that suspension is null and void.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know, not only null and void, it is madness. It's wrong in all forms. In Latin, in law, it said, nemo dat qui non habet. You cannot give what you do not have. You cannot take what you did not give.
To confirm that Chief Ayiri's suspension by the Giniwa One ruling house was a deliberate plot to trample upon the laws of the state and go ahead with the installation of Ogiame Atuwashe III, a close advisor of the Olu and Ogwa Oluson of Warri Kingdom, Chief Mene Brown, who had earlier supported the action of the princes in April 2021, inadvertently confirmed on a recent interview that princes had no locus on chieftaincy matters.
Whatever Prince Yemi Emiko said, in fact, he has no locus as far as chieftaincy is concerned in the Warri Kingdom. Even princes, when they gather together, they do not, as princes, have a voice to determine who is a chief and who is not a chief.
Not satisfied with Chief Ayiri's suspension, some members of the Warri Council of Chiefs sent a petition to security agencies alleging theft of royal crown and beads by Chief Ayiri and other persons. Chief Ayiri was summoned to the police headquarters in Benin for interrogation, where he told the police he knew nothing about the theft of royal crown and beads,
which I told them I know nothing about.
While Chief Ayiri was battling his suspension as Ologbotsere of Warri by princes of Warri Kingdom in the law courts and going back and forth with the police over the stolen crowns and beads, Ogiame Atuwashe was preparing for his coronation. To put the coronation on hold, Chief Ayiri approached a Warri High Court seeking an injunction, but his prayers were denied by the court. He then addressed all the traditional rulers in Delta State, pointing out the danger of supporting a bypass of the Chieftaincy Edict. The traditional rulers, who all have similar chieftaincy edicts in their different kingdoms, understood clearly that an attempt was being made to trample on the laws of the state, and they promptly disassociated themselves from the entire coronation activities of Ogiame Atuwashe III. On the 21st of August 2021, the day of coronation of Ogiame Atuwashe III, not a single traditional ruler from Delta State was in attendance as they boycotted the event. Was the allegation of theft against Ayiri a situation of calling a dog a bad name in order to hang it? Well, the chiefs who petitioned Chief Ayiri have voluntarily withdrawn the matter from court. With each passing day, it is becoming clearer now that the deliberate but illegal suspension of Chief Ayiri as Ologbotsere of Warri by the princes of Warri Kingdom and the trumped-up allegation of theft of royal crowns and beads against Ayiri were all deliberately done to demonize Chief Ayiri Emami and make him look bad before the Ishekiri nation and indeed the entire Nigerian public. Prince Yemi Emiko, who led the charge against Chief Ayiri Emami in April 2021, says they understood very clearly that Chief Ayiri Emami was right in his insistence of adherence to the 1979 Chieftaincy Edict and had committed no offense against the Ishekiri nation.
Ayiri, I will say this a million times, has not committed any crime against anybody in this land. All Ayiri did was stand by the law. Ayiri is not the one who wrote that law. He's not the one. But if you look at that law, Ologbotsere is all over, it's written all over the place as the owner of the process. I called some of the elders and said, look, let's try and find a way to put him on the throne. After which, we can then sit down to amend the law, to do things about putting things right. But they got their sins and then kicked everybody away.
Prince Yemi further reveals that since Chief Ayiri Emami refused to bypass the 1979 Chieftaincy Edict, the resolution was to get him out of the way, but later reconcile him with the palace and indeed the Ishekiri nation. Almost 2 years after his coronation, Ogiame Atuwashe III has not been able to reconcile with Chief Ayiri Emami. Instead, the Olu has disrobed Chief Ayiri as Ologbotsere twice, abolished the Ologbotsere title, reversed himself and appointed another person as Ologbotsere of Warri to the chagrin of the Ologbotsere family. Pa Hickson Okporokun, the Oloriebi of the Ologbotsere family, says the Olu of Warri, Ogiame Atuwashe III, was wrong in his action.
The Olu, as the Apamasi of Shekiri, we were not able to tell him that day that what he's doing was wrong. But now, I think we have put this matter into court to make him know that that decision should be changed. The only person we know and we have approved, we the Ologbotsere descendants approved, agreed upon is Chief Ayiri Emami.
We stand by and with Chief Ayiri Emami, and we pass a vote of confidence on him as the Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom.
Honorable Pulen Togaro maintains that Ayiri has done no wrong and describes as strange to the Ishekiri culture the Olu's use of trickery in his mission to humiliate the Ologbotsere family.
We, the leaders, the elders of the family, we thought they had come there to settle this matter once and for all. But to our greatest surprise, another person was installed right there, which has never been done. There is a chamber in the palace where chiefs are installed. It's really very, very strange. Very strange to me. I have never seen. This is my 87th year on earth. I have never witnessed a thing like that. The disgrace they gave to the Ologbotsere family.
Chief Samuel Omamuli, one of the chiefs who refused to be revalidated by Ogiame Atuwashe III, says the entire reconciliation meeting was nothing short of an ambush.
We were like ambushed into that meeting, deceived into that meeting, and the peace became elusive.
In its open letter to Ogiame Atuwashe III and signed by chairman of the Iwere Consultative Forum, Prince Clem Omotoye, and Secretary Arubi Ajofoton, they expressed concern that given the recent developments in the Ishekiri nation, it does appear that the Ishekiri customs and traditions were under threat. They say that the Ologbotsere matter should have been handled differently with more circumspection and with more regard to Ishekiri integrity. They say it may be near impossible to involve members of the Peace Committee in any Ishekiri enterprise in the foreseeable future, flowing from the event of Friday 14th and Sunday 16th days of April 2023. The Iwere Consultative Forum, in their open letter, repeatedly asked again and again, where are the traditional advisors? Where are the handlers of the Olu? Consequent upon the failure of the reconciliation process, Prince Bernard Emiko, who had earlier gone to court alongside Prince Oyewole Emiko to challenge the selection of Ogiame Atuwashe III as Olu of Warri, but had withdrawn following moves of reconciliation, is now back in court and has recommenced his case to remove Ogiame Atuwashe III as Olu of Warri. Several well-meaning Nigerians had tried to intervene and bring peace to Warri Kingdom, but all to no avail. The Oni of Ife and Arole Odua Oba Adeyeye Eniton Ogunwusi Ojaja II visited Warri in January 2023 to try to mediate between the Olu and Chief Ayiri. While visiting Chief Ayiri at his home, he counseled on the need to have Chief Ayiri Emami remain as Ologbotsere of Warri for the good of Ishekiri nation.
Ologbotsere, Chief Ayiri, you have a lot of role to play in your kingdom. You don't have anywhere to go to. You, as a Prime Minister, of the entire Warri people, he is a mirror of the entire heritage of the Warri people. It's very difficult to replace such a person. Very difficult because of what he carries it in his head. He doesn't joke with it. He knows what to do at the right time. He's been in the system, not now.
Chief Ayiri Emami, born on the 26th of April 1975, is a businessman, politician and philanthropist who is chairman, chief executive officer of A&E Group, a company with investments in oil and gas, construction, haulage, entertainment and the hospitality industry. An Ishekiri billionaire, Chief Ayiri is a defender of Ishekiri interests and a promoter of Ishekiri culture and tradition. A philanthropist, Ayiri has funded scholarships for indigent Ishekiri sons and daughters and financed small-scale businesses for members of his community. After the destruction of Ode Ishekiri, the ancestral headquarters of the Ishekiri people over 20 years ago, following communal crisis with their Ijaw neighbors, Chief Ayiri contributed in no small measure in the rebuilding of Ode Ishekiri. He is a known advocate for the upliftment of the Ishekiri nation. Hence, Ogiame Atuwashe II conferred on him the chieftaincy title of AKUGHA of Warri at the young age of 37. Even at the botched April 16 failed reconciliation meeting, Ogiame Atuwashe III acknowledged Chief Ayiri's contributions to the Ishekiri nation and asked everyone to stand up in his honor.
I want all of you. Well, it's not about whether you like him or not. To stand up and celebrate him now.
Chief Ayiri's many contributions to the Ishekiri nation are not only acknowledged by the high and mighty, as most people in Warri Kingdom and beyond readily acknowledge that the man Ayiri is indeed an enigma.
Chief Ayiri is the Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom, and you can see he's loved by his people, and you can see the massive crowd gathering all over him.
Some people think that they can isolate him. It is not possible. Chief Ayiri still remains the Ologbotsere of Iwere Kingdom, Warri Kingdom.
In all that has happened, Chief Ayiri insists that as Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom, he communes from time to time with his ancestors and the gods of Ishekiri nation, and as such, can never be part of anything that does not conform to the laid down rules and regulations, as well as the dictates of the ancestors. Hence, he has uncompromisingly stood firm to defend the 1979 Chieftaincy Edict that stipulates the processes for the selection and coronation of an Olu of Warri. Chief Ayiri's conviction has led him to approach the judiciary for full interpretation of the 1979 Chieftaincy Edict and challenge his suspension as Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom. If the courts grants Chief Ayiri's prayers and restores him as Ologbotsere, it would mean that all actions done immediately after he was suspended by the princes of Warri Kingdom will be declared null and void, and that would mean that a recommencement of the selection process for an Olu designate will have to be done. If Chief Ayiri successfully gets to this point, it would confirm his belief and position that his suspension as Ologbotsere and subsequent trumped-up allegation of theft of royal crowns and beads were all done to demonize him and get him out of the way to ensure coronation of the current Olu of Warri, which he continues to insist was done in violation of the extant laws of Delta State. As they say, the wheels of justice turn slowly but grinds exceedingly fine. It will indeed take some time, but without a doubt, justice will be served.
Inside the Niger Delta,